The United Church of Christ, because of the pension boards, is a joyful church that says congratulations to all who lead and guide the work of the pension board today. We are a grateful church, a grateful United Church of Christ, who also says thanks for the many ways that you serve and the many ways that you care and show concern for the health and vitality of the church and all of its leaders, both lay and clergy. It's certainly an honor, again, and a pleasure indeed to be present and to participate in this very special occasion as we celebrate a landmark of 100 years of the United Church of Christ Pension Board's years of ministry of service to those who serve. Now, just a few days ago, it was Easter Sunday. And many of you know that I'm one of those itinerant preachers. And itinerant preachers usually don't get to preach on Easter Sunday. All preachers want to preach on Easter Sunday, but mostly the itinerants get to stay home on Easter Sunday. Nobody wants to see you. What that means is that there's a great temptation for a guy like me to see a crowd like you 2 or 3 days after Easter, to preach all of the Easter sermons that I have in my pocket. But I will not do that tonight. I'm going to, again, strive to keep it brief. I want to say to you that, to be sure, I know that this evening we are here to celebrate the anniversary of the pension boards. And the pension boards started as an idea and a small institution that had a big vision. They did not know back in 1914, they did not know what lay ahead, but they started anyway. And today we celebrate what happened. They could not see what lay ahead, but they started anyway. And this continues as a faith enterprise. That is an enterprise that is grounded in the belief that God is doing something and will do something with us if we move forward and trust God. Those who initiated the founding of what has become the Pensions Board's valued ministry, and they valued pastoral leaders and what they gave to the church, their lives. The mission of this entity was to serve those who serve with an income beyond their years of service. In the beginning, those who initiated that ministry could not see what lay ahead, and they could not see things like World War I coming very soon, or the Great Depression. They could not foresee the onset of World War II and the massive and unparalleled death and destruction that it would bring. In 1914, they could not foresee the world-changing impact of air travel that had only begun a few years earlier, nor could they envision that the invention of the airplane would lead one day to space travel. They could not foresee the coming growth of churches or the rapid growth of the American economy and this country's expanded role in the world. They could not, in that moment in history, see the coming of the civil rights movement and the birth of the United Church of Christ. I would say these are two entities that have transformed this country. What they knew then, in 1914, was that, and this is the important thing, they knew that there were clergy who served their churches and who did not earn a lot of money, and that at the end of their years of service, they needed an income that would sustain them in their latter years. So these people who founded the pension boards started something. For the Congregationalists, it was the annuity fund for congregational ministers. For the Evangelical Synod of North America, it was the minister's retirement annuity fund. The point is that they started. They started small. They started an enterprise that grew. There is a kind of a biblical overtone to this story, a mustard seed analogy, so to speak, to be made. We see what started in a small way to have grown to immense proportions, now serving 10,000 or more clergy and lay people with invested assets topping $3 billion. From the vantage point of the 21st century, we can look back with awe and amazement at what could be foreseen, what could not be foreseen at the beginning of the 20th century. Indeed, the century encompassed immense change in America, in the world, and even in the church. And from the vantage point of today, we can also see a pension institution that has endured, even prospered over the long haul. For that, we celebrate tonight and we give thanks to God. Now, there are those present this evening who are still working and contributing to their pensions. I'm one of them. And there are those who will still be working for a long while and contributing to their pensions. And some of them are here tonight as well. And there are many who are annuitants. But we all know that the pension board is not just about pensions, and that is a cause for celebration. By way of the Board of Ministerial Assistants, an integral arm of the pension board, those who have served are not forgotten because of the care and dedication of the annuitant visitors. That is cause for celebration. Those whose incomes were low while serving have their retirement benefits subsidized if needed. And that is cause for celebration. Through the Next Generation Leadership Initiative, many of our younger leaders have an opportunity to enhance their leadership skills and capacities to better serve the church of the future. And that, my friends, is cause for celebration. Those who serve continue to serve. You know, April is National Poetry Month. It's one of my favorite months. It's my birthday, Easter comes, poetry comes. And every April, I go to the library and I gather up poetry books and see what's new in poetry. I enjoy it. I'm inspired by it. And this year, I did that thing. And I came across a poem by Alice Walker that expresses what I observe in many people that I see as annuitant members of the Pension Board's program. The poem is titled, "You Want to Grow Old Like the Carters." Think about that. You want to grow old like the Carters. And you can find it in a 2013 collection titled "The World Will Follow Joy" by Alice Walker. But it reads in parts like this. You want to grow old like the Carters, curing blindness and building houses for the poor, making friends of those who believe they must fight. You want to grow old like the Carters, holding hands with someone you love and riding bicycles leisurely where the ground is well known and perfectly flat. Now there's more to this poem, and of course, but I want to stay with that thought, that portion of the poem, because it reminds me of so many of you and so many of the people of the United Church of Christ who are annuitants, who are served by the Pension Board and who continue to serve. I'm talking about people you may know. Some of them are even in this room. People like Rollin Russell, who continues to serve as a volunteer in the Southern Conference, or Barbara Brown Zigman, who continues to teach and promote UCC history. There are people like Henrietta Andrews, who leads a seniors ministry at her local church, or Rip Noble, who teaches polity and designs and builds creative liturgical decor for his local church. I'm thinking about my friend Edward Good, who volunteers as a chef for a UCC church luncheon program for the homeless people in Chicago, or John and Faye Buttrick, who I met a few years ago in the Palestinian territories, where they volunteered accompanying vulnerable Palestinian people through Israeli checkpoints to go to work and to school. And finally, yes, there is Yvonne Delk. That woman is still preaching up a storm. Now, the thing that these people have in common is, again, they are annuitants. And the other thing is that when you get to talking with them, to a person, I call them the Mike Downs fan club. Because whenever we get to talking, they are always saying how thankful they are to the pension boards for making the life they live possible. And that guy, Mike Downs, is doing a good job. So Mike, congratulations. I believe this is a wonderful aspect of the pension board legacy. The people I have named are but examples of many annuitants, many who are here tonight, and for whom ministry is not a job, but a vocation, a calling, a way of life. That is, people who because they have a life income, are enabled to continue in their ministry, serving voluntarily and creatively and with spirit. Yes, we are growing older, but in doing so, we want to do so like the Carters do. Yes, this is a celebration moment for us, for the United Church of Christ, for the pension boards. The pension boards of the United Church of Christ, and indeed the whole church, have reason to celebrate, because this valued ministry of serving those who serve has lasted a century. We also have reason to celebrate and even be proud because of the many who have been enabled to continue to serve in special ways beyond their years of employment. They are members of the pension boards. They are the pension boards. Indeed, you who have gathered here tonight for this grand occasion are the embodiment of the pension boards of the United Church of Christ. We are blessed. These are blessings that we have talked about. These are blessings from on high. And for these blessings and so many more that we have not even mentioned, we have only to thank God, from whom all blessings flow. So let us rejoice tonight, let us celebrate tonight, and let us always give thanks to God. Amen and good night.